we're diving into a pretty massive shift happening in Saudi Arabia's labor market. A whole new system is rewriting the rules for foreign workers, and it really all boils down to one question. What's your skill level?
So, what's all the buzz about? If you're an employer, or maybe you're a foreign national working in the kingdom, this is the big question on your mind, right? What does this new policy actually mean for you?
Well, the answer is that Saudi Arabia has rolled out a completely new way of classifying work permits. And let me be clear, this isn't just some minor tweak to the old system. This is a fundamental restructuring of how foreign workers are categorized from the ground up. All right, so let's get right into the heart of it. What exactly is this new system? At its core, it's a skill-based classification system. The goal here is to move toward a much more structured and, merit-based approach. The idea is to categorize every single foreign worker into one of 3 distinct skill levels, and it's all based on a bunch of specific criteria. Okay, so that sounds good in theory, but how does this actually work in practice? Well, the entire thing is built around 3 new tiers or skill levels. Yep, 3. That's the magic number here. This whole system is designed to place every foreign worker into one of 3 buckets: high-skilled, skilled, or basic. Sounds simple enough, but the details of who fits where, well, that's where things get really interesting. Now, take a look at this, because this table is really the core of the whole thing. As you can see, all 3 levels look at stuff like your occupation type, professional accreditation, and a minimum salary, which, and this is important, hasn't even been determined yet. But the real distinction is in the details. The high-skilled level is totally unique. It uses a points-based score that looks at things like your education and professional experience. Then you go all the way to the other end, the basic level, and bam, it introduces a hard age limit of 60 years old. Okay, now for the practical side of things. When does all this actually take effect, and who's responsible for making it all happen? The rollout is planned in 2 main phases for next year. So starting July 5th, 2025, the system will apply to all current foreign employees. Then, not long after, on August 3rd, it's going to extend to all new foreign hires. So while it's not live just yet, that deadline is coming up fast. This brings us to a really crucial point, especially for anyone in HR or management. When this new system goes live, what's on your to-do list? What are your new responsibilities as an employer? It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you've got to review your workers' new classifications. Second, you have to make sure that classification actually lines up with their real job title, their contract, their qualifications. And third, if you find a classification that's just plain wrong, you can submit a correction request to get it updated. So we've covered the what, the how, and the when. But that leaves the biggest question of all, right? The so what. Why does this new system actually matter? What are the real-world implications going to be? On paper, the objective seems pretty clear. This system is designed to introduce a more organized, structured, a merit-based framework for work permits in Saudi Arabia. It's a move toward a more sophisticated labor market. But there's a catch. And this quote, which comes directly from our source material, just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly illustrates the central issue here. We have this new structure, but it's completely unclear if it's going to lead to any tangible benefits for anyone involved, not for employers and not for workers. This is the question hanging over this entire policy shift. I mean, will being classified as high-skilled actually feel any different than being classified as basic? Right now, nobody knows for sure. As it stands, the Saudi government has been pretty quiet on what these new levels actually do. Will a high-skilled worker get special entitlements or maybe have their visa processed faster? Will different tiers come with different rights? At the moment, these are all just big open questions. So the crucial takeaway here is this. Saudi Arabia has built a very detailed system of labels. But for now, that's all they are. Labels with no defined benefits attached. The real story will unfold when we see if these labels actually change the future of work in the kingdom, or if they just end up being an exercise in classification. Thanks for